Fellas, South African Special Envoy. Yeah, you remember we just spoke about the South African Special Envoy a couple of days ago. The South African Special Envoy is already under scrutiny. Apparently, he said some things back in the past. You must remember one thing. Internet never forget. It doesn't matter what you say in the past. It's gonna come out. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. Pick up my coffee. Yeah, just before we go, just write, tell me where you are. I want to know where you're watching us from. Just write it. Yeah, how long have you been watching us for and which city are you in the world? Very much appreciated. Okay, now you want to know about Africa, you're at the right place. This is where you want to be. Yeah. This is family. My name is Zack. I know we don't know each other, but you watch this video till the end, we're going to love each other. And you're going to be coming back here every single day. I salute you and I thank everybody that comes here 3 times a day. I appreciate you. Who is this now? I don't know, but I'm giving you time. They can wait. Thank you so much for coming back, and I see you, and I will never drop you. Okay, I might drop you once in a while, but not very often. I'll try as much as I possibly can to give you what you come for, and always quality. You know that. For the people that watch us on private, people that have joined the private sector, private group, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your contribution. We're going to have our live this weekend. We're going to give you more precision, and we're going to have a phone number where we can talk to each other and communicate during the live. If you want to be part of that group, you can click on this button right here. It says join. You can join the group. You're very welcome. Okay, so we are in South Africa. Here's a map. Here's a South African map. You cannot pretend that everybody knows where South Africa is. This is South Africa right here. Okay, South Africa's Special Envoy to the United States of America is already under scrutiny for calling U.S. President Donald Trump racist, homophobic, narcissistic, right-winger, and this happened in 2020. Jonas Mbisi, sorry, I just murdered that right now. A former deputy finance minister was appointed on Monday by President Cyril Ramaphosa as a representative to Washington, tasked with rebuilding South Africa's deteriorating relationship with the United States of America under Trump. So Mr. Jonas was appointed as replacement to Ibrahim Rasool. Ibrahim Rasool, for those who don't know, was the South African ambassador that was chased from America. Yeah, America just kicked away. Trump don't play. They just kicked out the ambassador from South Africa for making a comment. This is the comment he made.
The supremacist assault on incumbency, we see it as a response, not simply to a supremacist instinct, but to very clear data that shows great demographic shifts in the USA, in which the voting electorate in the USA is projected to become 48% white. We're engaging the lawmakers and we're putting in deposits so that when fear subsides of the White House, we have planted the alternative view.
So basically the man says Trump's external policy is kind of not straight. And Marco Rubio sees the opportunity to kick him out. So you can get out of here. You're anti-American, you're anti-Christian, they said a lot of things. Now, South Africa didn't want to hit back because it feels like America of Trump is looking for opportunities to ostracize South Africa. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to sanction and create more problems. And it's going to be a, snowball effect. And the South Africans, as you can see, are using a lot of maturity. They don't want to go toe-to-toe with America. And what they've done in this time, they have not sent another ambassador, but they have sent a special envoy to avoid diplomatic scrutiny and procedures. Jonas Mbisi is a representative. Now, the goal with him was to rebuild the relationship between South Africa and the US. But already things are going south, my brother. So what has he done, my brother? What has this man done? The new South African envoy's speech criticizing Trump in his first term was delivered in November 8th, 2020. My man. Internet never forget. You must be very careful. That's why I'm telling you, America will start scrutinizing your social media. If you make a funny comment, they say it's threats to national security. You're not getting a visa, my brother. You're not getting a visa. If you say something against the international policy of Trump, you're not getting a visa. I hope they don't take your money. They don't take your money before they tell you that you don't get the visa, at least. So On November 8, 2020, 5 days after the election of Joe Biden, his comment went viral on the internet. This is what he said. He said, right now, the US is undergoing a watershed moment with Biden the certain winner in the presidential race against the racist, homophobic Donald Trump. How we got to this situation where a narcissistic right-winger took charge of the world's greatest economy and military powerhouse is something that we need to ponder over. It is something that all democracy needs to ponder over. This is what the man said. My brother, they're going to go find things about you. So you better be very, very careful. Jonas was delivering South Africa's annual Ahmed Kathrada lecture, where public figures are invited to give a speech for the foundation of Kathagra, one of the anti-apartheid activists put on trial by the white minority government in 1960 and imprisoned alongside Nelson Mandela. So the guy was speaking about counter-apartheid, okay, saying, let's praise this man for playing a major role during apartheid. And in the meantime, he took a jab on Trump because he had lost the election. That's why you must be very careful. When somebody goes down, don't talk too much. When somebody's going through the most, don't talk too much because you don't know. You have no idea. Because how do you reverse that? How do you say, oh no, I was just joking. I didn't mean what I said. How are you going to be successful? I know it's politics, but how are you going to be successful? Because you already know how you're feeling. I mean, you look back, United States of America was considering some of the people to be sent to South Africa as potential ambassador. South Africa scrutinized those people. Some of them were born in South Africa. They went to America. Some of them were writing speech for politicians that everybody perceived as racist. So they scrutinized those Americans. And they were never ambassador to South Africa. Now, Americans are doing the same. They're scrutinizing everybody, you preparing for them. Now, South Africa is going through the most right now. And I think this subject we're gonna ponder into. We're gonna get into depth of this situation. South Africa is trying very hard to normalize things between South Africa and the United States of America. But this is gonna be very difficult. The US hit Lesotho. This is Lesotho right here. It's an enclave country within South African borders. Beautiful place, very high in mountains, with some of the purest water in Africa. But the country was hit with 50% tariff, meaning everything they export to America will be plus 50% its worth. So if you produce something worth $100, it can only be sold at $150. And that was very difficult for the country. Now, they hit this country, why? Because Elon Musk went to the country, well, that's one of the reasons, and asked for a license for Starlink to be installed in the country. Now, Lesotho has a policy that says for every company that comes from outside that want to operate in Lesotho, they have to give 30% equity, or they have to sell 30% of the company to local black people to empower them. That's the rule. That's the policy. Now, Elon Musk refused to do that because he wanted 100% of his company, but to operate freely in the country. Well, when they hit this country with tax, 50%, they were trying to scramble, trying to find how we resolve this. The first thing they've done, they have given in this 30% thing. Now they've told Elon Musk, you can come, because we're not going to survive. Well, South Africa has a very similar policy. They had a very similar situation with Elon Musk because he came to South Africa looking to get a license for Starlink. South Africa submitted the very same procedure, saying, sir, if you want to operate in our country, 30% equity value of your company has to be owned by black people in this country. Why? Because we suffered during apartheid until 1994. Yeah, Elon Musk was born in South Africa, went to the United States of America. So he understands. His parents profited. Most white people profited from apartheid. So he doesn't want to give up. Okay, some people think he wants to bring the old mentality. Well, he's been putting the pressure. He is the one that's claimed that many white people in South Africa are being mistreated. Now, the pressure on South Africa right now is not for nothing. There are many avenues. Number one, they want to gain business in Africa. Number two, they want to punish South Africa for the country you don't name, for taking, South Africa took them to court. Number three, they need to regain control. They need equality. What kind of equality? Well, there is a political party in South Africa that is predominantly white.
Alliance. Shoot to kill.
And how do you balance things? You need to give them more leverage because the majority of population is black. So if Trump screams and is angry and he blocks, at least One of the best ways to get the country back on track is to allow the white people in South Africa to have a little more things to say, a little more leverage. Then we're going to be okay with you. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. We're going to talk about many things. There's a senator in America that introduced a law. Yeah, they want to sanction South Africa. We're going to talk about that later. Yeah, things are going really bad. They say South Africa has brazenly abandoned its relationship with the United States of America to align with China, Russia, and Iran, and terrorist organizations that they should be punished. We're going to talk about this on the next. Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. It's always a great pleasure. South African envoy to the United States of America made comments on Donald Trump, calling him racist, homophobic, narcissistic, a right wing. In a speech in 2020. Nobody's safe anymore. God bless.